Hey, what's up, guys? Kayak Mike here. I'm with Alva Jones. We're going to be going over the bank fishing event, the Bink Fox Fishing for Vinton County Cancer Research. That event's on May 30th. So while I go and post this to social, I'm going to give it over to Alva. Alva, go ahead and talk a little bit here.
Gotcha. Hey, everybody. Long time no hear from. I'm pretty excited about this. Ironically, as most of you know, I've been dealing with cancer for the last 6 months. I have throat cancer. I actually had my first checkup after my chemotherapy and radiation that I've been doing for the last it's almost 3 months. Been finished with that treatment for about 3 weeks, and so anyway, I am completely cancer free. Um, so awesome news, and ironically, it was a fun day to learn it just because we're talking about this Vinton County cancer research, a great cause. Obviously, something that's a lot more personal to me. Even though it was, it runs in my family, so it was already important. I'm sure cancer is like all of you guys, but anyway, just wanted to kind of spread the word. You guys are the first people that I told. I didn't even go on Facebook. I knew I was going to do this today, and I figured, what better time to kind of throw that out there in the public than today. So, with that being said, let's talk about the tournament coming up in a week and a half. So,
All right. We're posting it up. It should be posting. Great. All right. Very first thing, we will pull up the screen here. First, if you're newer, download the Fishing Chaos app. Once you download the Fishing Chaos app, you'll make a profile. After you make a profile, you're going to want to go to Trail Club. You'll start typing in online catfishing tournaments. Will pop up. We're right there. To fish our tournaments, if you go over, you should go to the main screen. You do have to be a $20 annual member. Now we are a little less than halfway through the year. This membership is good 365 for the whole year. So if you sign up right now, don't worry, you'll be good until May of next year. And we plan on putting a lot of events on throughout the rest of the year, and we'll have a lot of events leading up to May next year. So it's definitely worth it. This helps cover your insurance and all that kind of stuff. This is not for profit. We're not making any money off of any of this stuff. That helps pay for the club stuff. And then to find the tournament, you will go to tournaments. You'll scroll down to Real and Deal Events 2026. Go ahead and click on that. The 5/30 2025. Oh, man. I need to fix that. I have 2025 in the title. It's 2026, guys. I'll change that literally right now as we speak. And then you'll click on that, and that will take you to the tournament. And the way you register for the tournament, on the right-hand side here, on your phone, it'll be the identical thing, just a little smaller. On the right-hand side here, you'll click register, and then everything's self-explanatory through there. So that's how to get to the tournament, how to sign up for the tournament, and now we're going to go over some of the rules and entry fees, etc. So it's going to be a $75 registration fee. $50 of that will go to the pot. Any difference between 75 and 50, I will tally up, and we will give to the charity for this event. I will get it over to Janet Fox.
Bink,
Bink.
Janet Fox.
Janet Fox. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Okay, so it'll be roughly $21 to $23 of every single entry fee will be going over to them as our donation. It's going to be your 3 longest fish. Your GPS location tag must be within 50 miles of the Racine boating access boat launch. So let me pull that up here. So this is the Racine boating access boat launch right here. So if you scroll out, 50 miles away is roughly St. Mary's, that direction. 50 miles away this way is roughly Huntington. And it is just make a big circle 50 miles around. If you have any questions about where you're fishing, let me know. We are doing it based off of navigability from the Ohio River. As long as you can get there from the Ohio River and it's within 50 miles of where Racine boat ramp is, you're good to go. So here's a website if you want to check. So if you go to Map My Run, and if you make a profile, you can go to routes, create route, uncheck auto follow roads. This is Racine right here. So for instance, if you click, and you can do this on your phone too, if you click right there and you scroll out really far, you can figure out where your 50 miles is. Oh, I almost nailed it. You can figure where your 50 miles is on the map doing this. It's as the eagle flies. So this is roughly the boundary right here on the Ohio River. That's 50 miles away, right where it says the thoroughfare. I don't even know what this St. Mary's. St. Mary's, West Virginia. So that's essentially the boundary for the Ohio River. I just so happen to use it as an example. But again, if you're curious where you're fishing, if it's going to be within the 50-mile boundary, just let me know. And it's a radius, not diameter. It's 50 miles around Racine, as long as it's navigable from the Ohio River. I believe that puts a lot of the canal in play as well. We will clear that real quick. Clear the map. Yep. So Racine is right here. If we scoot down the canal, where's the canal at? I always forget. Right here. This is the canal. Yeah. So the canal, I think you almost get down to Charleston. Yeah, you actually get a little bit past Charleston. So a lot of the canals in play. You can fish up to almost, a lot of the canals in play. So there's a lot of fishing water. So no one should have any issues with where they want to fish and chase these big fish.
Yeah.
And
now we are going by Ohio laws, though.
yes, Ohio laws.
There, and you may know, I'm not sure. There's a bridge down the canal that cuts off the Ohio law, and you automatically go into the West Virginia law as far as like rod limits and things like
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that bridge is?
I think it's the very first bridge. Let me pull it up here.
I think it's pretty far
or
up
maybe
the canal, though.
Is it? I can't remember. I thought it was the first or second. I thought it was the first or second bridge. I thought it was either this one or this one.
If I heard the
I could
name,
be
I might
wrong.
know. But with that being said, just always state and local laws always supersede any of the rules that we
Yes.
ever have. So you
Mhm.
got to make sure that you're following the rules. But as far as the tournament is concerned, we're going by Ohio 3-rod limit,
Yep.
period, regardless of if the 50 miles is beyond that.
Correct.
That
I'm
lane.
actually going to add that 3-rod limit regardless where you are fishing. There we go. Very good. I'm going to add that because that's actually a very, very good point. I don't know West Virginia rod laws. So
It's
they might.
unlimited.
Oh,
It's
is it?
unlimited.
Okay. So yeah, if you're fishing West Virginia, you definitely need 3 rods. Lines in is going to be 8 a.m. Lines out is going to be 3 p.m. In our world, that really means picture cutoff times 3 p.m. And then we need you back at the Racine Boating Access boat launch by 4 p.m. If you don't get back to that ramp by 4 p.m., you are disqualified. There's no morning meetup. We're not doing a morning meetup. So if you want to drive to your fishing location, there's no lines in the water anytime, midnight to lines in. You can cast that if you would like. There's no fishing. There's no bait fishing either. Midnight to lines in. No lines whatsoever. But once 8 o'clock rolls, you can cast your lines out. Your picture cutoff time, you have till 3:15 to submit your pictures. Your picture cutoff time from when you take it is 3 o'clock. And we need you to submit the fish as close to you as where you caught it as humanly possible. That way, just in case we have any kind of like ESIF data issues, we can bounce between the ESIF data and where you submitted to prove where you caught it from. The identifier will come out at 7:50 that morning, and it will be right here. Remember to have that 3 or 4 digit identifier in every photo. With the reason we do it 10 minutes before, that's to ensure nobody has it. Let's say someone does cheat and fish 5 minutes early. Well, at least they only fish for 5 minutes early. You know what I mean? So yeah, that identifier will become available 10 minutes early, and it'll be right here where you register as well. And I think that's really it. I'll go over really quick the standards of measuring a fish. Give me 1 second. This way, no one messes it up.
Well, I do, before you get to that, as far as going back to the racing ramp, all participants, remember why, the big thing why we're doing this is to benefit the Vinton County cancer research. Bink and his wife, Janet Fox, I think this might be their 5th or 6th year doing this. It's a great cause. Keep in mind that it is donation oriented. We want to bring everybody back. They have a lot of sponsors. They do a ton of raffles, lots of giveaways. It's a great tournament. It's a great bunch of people that are getting together for a good cause. So make sure you bring a few extra bucks to to get in some of these raffles. If I remember right, they may have raffled 50 plus rods and gear. I mean, it was just a ton of stuff. That obviously, all of that stuff, the profits went towards the research, the cancer research group. So I just want to reiterate, this is, Mike and I's first joint venture as far as something like this, venturing away from the Hoover thing. So hopefully we can get, there's not too many hiccups, but bear in mind that we're going to try to do this more frequently
Mhm.
as interest grows. We want to have a good turnout, make sure that everybody, most importantly, has a great time and catch a bunch of fish. I'm excited to do something at the river. A lot of you guys have been asking about it. Um, so we've put this together. Thank goodness Janet and Bink have allowed us to do it with them. That kind of gives us a good foothold of where we're going. We don't have to do all the background stuff. We're just kind of joining in. So I just wanted to
Mhm.
kind of throw that out there.
Those are all great points. I actually was at this event 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember. And yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. There's food. I mean, I'm assuming they're doing food again, but there was
yeah, they
food.
are.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This event is it's very well run. It's a lot of fun.
right.
Um, we'll go back over to the measuring standards. So your blues need to be right hand or right side down, left side up. Where's Jeremiah? Okay, right side down, left side up, and then here's his identifier. For this tournament, I just so happen to hand out an identifier, but you're going to want to write your letters out somewhere in your photo. Right side down, left side up. The fish must be clearly bumped. They can be on a fish grips if you want. I just have to be able to clearly see that it's bumped. You can leave them hooked if you want. That's perfectly fine. And then it's whatever's clearly touching the measuring surface is what gets scored. So flatheads and channels, right side down, left side up. Now remember, let's say you get a board with the other orientation. You still have to keep them right side down, left side up. It's just a matter of their belly might be facing this back wall. It just matters on the orientation of your board. And now let me go to a flathead. Flathead's essentially the same exact rules. You're allowed to measure a flathead right side down, left side up, but we would prefer you measure them on their belly because it's much better for a flathead. Bump them as best as you can. Get it in the picture as best as you can. I do understand they have an underbite, so I, as the judge, have to make a judgment call there. I judgment call that this one's perfectly fine. His identifiers in the photo. The entire fish is in the photo. And this is where it gets a little tricky with flatheads. It's whatever's clearly touching the measuring surface. So right here is clearly touching the measuring surface. This appears to me to be in the air. I mean, obviously there's a shadow, so it's very easy to tell. But this appears to me to be in the air. So he's not getting credit for 26 inches. He's getting credit for 24.75 because that's what's touching the measuring surface. It's really hard to get directly above fish sometimes to get that perfect shot. And also, we don't want people forcing the tail down on the flathead. Why put him in any more stress than he's already in? The whole purpose of this kind of event is to get the fish back in the water for their health. So that's the measuring standards. Any questions on that stuff, hit me up. And
I do have boards available at my store, Real and Deal. And I did strike a deal with Jeff, the owner of Fish Bumper. He's allowed me to basically reduce the price to keep them in stock. Anybody that registered for any of our bank events, or even with Kayakers events, if you're doing a link tournament and you need a board, I'm reducing the price to by 10%. So whatever his price is online, I'm selling at 10% less. Plus, I'm able to save you on shipping. So it's normally about just on a $75 board. I'm saving you're paying $75 for the board.
mhm,
So Jeff was kind enough to be able to work with me on some numbers to where I can pass those savings up directly along to everybody. And I do have boards available. I try to keep I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 of the bump and goes and 2 or 3 of the fat boys. The ones that I have might be left-handed on the fat boys, but like Mike
mhm.
said, you just pay attention to. It doesn't matter if it's a right hand or left hand. Just pay attention to right side down, left side up, kind of thing.
Correct. And if somebody, let's say you don't live necessarily near near Central Ohio. Fishbumper.com. Any bump board they sell is legal. Every single one. Get
Right.
a 60 incher. Because here's the thing: if you end up getting one that's maybe 48 inches or 45 inches or 40 inches, you only get credit for what is measured on the boards. Oh, great, great timing. Carrie just asked, how long are the boards? Get a 60-inch board because you only get credit for what is on the board. So let's say you have a 40-inch board, but you catch a 45-inch fish, you only get credit for 40 inches because that's the only thing we can verify. So no matter what board you end up getting, always make sure you get the 60-inch board. I believe you don't offer anything but the 60-inch boards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the reel and deal tournaments, I only allow fish bumper boards. That brand. And the only boards that I'm stocking are the ones that fold in half. So they fold down to 30 inches, but extend out to 60.
Yes.
So yeah, I wouldn't, chances are, I'd love to say that we're going to use the over 40-inch boards a lot, or over 48. And we really need 60-inch boards, but who would want to catch a 55-inch fish and only have a 40-inch board? I'd be pissed.
So
So,
where you guys are fishing this weekend, ironically, the first fish that ever broke a board in Racine was like a 50-plus-inch flathead, but the guy only had a 48-inch board, so he only
yeah,
got credit for 48, and it was on this stretch of river. That
right.
it's in boundaries.
Yeah, so they do make the trifold. I may bring one or two of those in. The only reason I don't really have those is the feedback that I'm getting is really the guys that are fishing. If you're not fishing either the bank or on a boat, they're a little tough just because of the support. You got two spots that are hinged, so they're a little harder to support that center. Um, I can get them, same deal, 10% less of whatever they're posted on the Fish Bumper website. If you order it, obviously through me, and I could just add it onto my order, so I would save you shipping as well. So I think that board runs like $160. Out
Mhm.
the door, you would pay $160.
Yep.
That's shipping and everything. So
Mhm. That's a great
shipping
deal.
tax. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, Jeff's been awesome. He is coming up with some locking systems too for, I'm hoping to get those here maybe in a week or so. But that being said, if you guys need a
Oh, is he
board,
really?
let me
That's
know.
awesome.
I'm sorry.
He's coming out with a locking system for him,
Yeah, yeah.
like
We've
a.
been working on, actually, him and
Ooh,
I've been working on a couple of things. So we'll see how that, yeah.
that's
Um,
awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Hopefully here in the next week or two, he'll have something that I can demo. I'm gonna give a few out to some people and, let them demo and we'll see
Just
how it goes.
don't ask me. Just have him mail me whatever it is, and I'll pay.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't. I'll even pay for the demo. I don't care. I like because
Right. No, I said the
that would
same
be
thing.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said the same thing.
that would be fantastic because that's normally it's not a complaint, but that's normally one of the biggest issues people not issues, but things people have questions on is like how do we lock it out? And we always just
Right.
say take it to Lowe's, get some C channel, measure it, get it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if he had a custom made locking system, that would
Yeah.
be phenomenal.
That's
That would be
like I
phenomenal.
said, we've been because he this catfishing world is kind of a new realm for him. So especially specifically kayak catfishing. So he's pretty open to any input that that we can give him to better his product. And
Hmm.
I feel like that's the kind of people we want to work with. He wants
Oh
to
yeah,
cater specifically for us. He said,
yeah,
if we like the double-sided numbers or whatever we want, he'll contemplate on putting it together for us. So yeah, good deal.
awesome. All right,
Um,
I think we covered the major. Do you have anything else to add? I don't really have anything else to add.
I am with the bait shop. I'm going to be offering deals on bait the week of the tournament as well. I can get like suckers, bluegill, bullhead, pretty much any live bait. I'm going to be offering 10% off of that bait if you pre-order. I sell that bait by the pound, the live bait by the pound. If you can get me your order by Tuesday, which I don't have the counter in front of me, do you? What's next Tuesday? The week before?
Next Tuesday is the 26th.
So if you can get me an order by Tuesday, the 26th, I will, and you want, 3 pounds of sucker chops or whatever you want, it's by the pound. I can have it, I order it in special for you. And it can be picked up Thursday before the tournament, for the weekend. Obviously, I've got, I'm limited on, I can't bring in 50 pounds of one style of bait, and then all of a sudden I got to keep 40 pounds because I only sell 10. So if you guys want it, I'll pre-order it for you, give you a good deal, 10% off what I normally would sell it for. That ensures that you're getting the bait that you want. I'll have it, in stock for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
Um,
obviously, any questions that arrive, between now and tournament time, feel free to, message myself or Mike.
mhm.
Mike is
Oh,
normally the guy to go to on any of the rules specifics or any of the online stuff. That's his thing, and I'm just the cheerleader. I am fishing the
well,
tournament. I'm feeling good enough to where I'm going to be able to fish it as well. So I will be there. I'm going down Friday morning. But yeah, so if anybody needs anything, feel free to hit me up.
sounds good. And then, real quick, I do want to address this one question some people have had asked. So, so I'm gonna do some random example. We'll say like right here. So somebody asked me like Mill Creek. Somebody asked me, what does navigability mean? So if as long as like we define navigability as can a kayak get up there paddling, turn around, come back without bottoming out or having to get out of the kayak. So it has to be navigable water from the Ohio River. That doesn't necessarily mean where you're specifically fishing has to be navigable. So let me show you an example. This might not even be a real thing. All right. It looks like it might be a real thing. Okay, Mill Creek. Hypothetically speaking, let's say all of this right here at this point, all around this point, was 6 inches to 12 inches of water. And for whatever reason, you wanted to cast in that. That would be perfectly legal fishing waters because to get there, it's navigable all the way around. So somebody asked me if they could cast somewhere where a boat couldn't anchor. That's not what we mean by navigable. We just mean can the boat get to it and also fish it? That's all we mean. So if you want to fish 8 inches of water, perfectly fine. As long as a kayak can get up to that area and also cast into that area, even though kayaks aren't fishing, we just use them as a parameter for navigability. You're perfectly fine. Because I did have a couple people ask me like they were concerned if they wanted to fish real shallow, which potentially might be a thing with the upcoming spawn. They were worried that they wouldn't be able to they weren't allowed to cast in shallow water. So that's not what navigability means. It means as long as a boat can get to that fishing spot, you can cast wherever you want. I mean, hell, you can cast in 2 inches of water if you want. Don't matter to us. So that's the navigability definition right
Yeah,
there.
I would say if there's any question,
Yeah,
obviously get to your spot. Don't spend, half a day there and then you get a fish, submit it. It might let you know that you just spent half the day in a spot that you're not legally allowed to fish.
yeah,
If there's any question, just ask.
yeah,
You can ask me if Mike doesn't. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna just tell you to ask Mike because he's gonna be in front of whatever system to be able to tell you where you're at. I don't have that ability to be able to look at
yep,
where you're at.
yep,
I'm gonna be on the water fishing.
yep, yep, and and yeah, I think that clears up any questions I got off top
And
or
and I
off.
think I can speak for you as well, Mike. We would love feedback. Whatever we can do to improve
Hmm.
this, to make it easier, more accessible for more people. The goal is just to expand the catfish community. That's why we wanted to bring the bank angler only tournaments, in the mix, is because there's a void there of bank anglers not having the ability to go out and compete like a boat guy or even the
Hmm.
kayaks. That's growing. Kayak is growing, pretty quickly, and we know the majority of fishermen are bank anglers. Why nobody has really put the effort in to get something going for those guys, for you guys, for all of us. Doesn't make sense, but the times now, and obviously we need support by you telling your friends and getting your wives and daughters and mothers and friends and family and all that stuff involved as well. So do us a favor and keep showing up, give us feedback, let us know how we can do better.
Word of mouth too is the best. We have this
Absolutely.
one gentleman, Ben Allen. He's blowing us up, and he's getting all of his buddies involved. So like that's truly the way to grow. Alva and I can advertise out our butts as much as we want. The true way to grow is when the participants, let their buddies and stuff know. There was
Right.
one more question. I just got a message. Um, your spot, you must obtain it by motor vehicle and your feet. So you cannot kayak out onto the Ohio River across the river where you can't get there by foot by motor vehicle and foot and then fish from the bank. So this is truly bank fishing only. You cannot get to your spot via any kind of watercraft. You have to get to your spot via motor vehicle, then or land motor vehicle, then walk to your spot. Like you don't have to. I mean, you could fish out of your motor vehicle too if you want. If you are lucky enough to have a spot on the Ohio River that you can back up to and use your car as the rod holder, go for it. I mean, I'm jealous of you. That's really sweet. Go for it. But yes, no watercraft to get to your spot. That question was asked earlier in the week, and I wanted to
That
emphasize
defeats the purpose.
that defeats the purpose of a bank fishing tournament because you're getting an advantage of using watercraft to get to your spot where someone else can't. So
Right. Um, yeah. So that, yeah. Well, I think we had that a couple times, even doing it at Hoover. Like, hey,
yeah,
can I use my buddy to get me across the lake? There's, with having a 50-mile radius, there's so much water. Don't tell me you
yeah,
can't find a spot.
yeah.
And the other thing is you are allowed to move, so don't feel like you're stuck in that one spot. You get to a spot, a lot of guys, we give a spot maybe an hour. If fish aren't there, move, man. Don't feel like you're stuck. I mean, um, be mobile because that's going to give you the best chance of finding the fish.
Yeah, if I
Um,
end up fishing it, I'm just going to tell everyone my strategy right now. I'm going to go find somewhere I think's good, and then when there's 3 or 2 hours left, I'm driving back to Racine, and I'm fishing near Racine for the last hour or two, just to ensure I don't miss check-in or check
right.
out. Like
Yeah.
that. That's going to be my game plan if I end up fishing it.
Right. Well, hopefully I didn't, yeah, because why wouldn't you fish it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
only like 2 hours away, and my
Right.
buddy wants to do a float trip. So, what I might end up doing is I might go down there Friday night, maybe just do a float in the kayak, throw the kayak, put the kayak up that night in the parking lot wherever it is, and then go bank fish for all of Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
So
like I said, I'm going down. We're going down, and we might do a little pre-fishing Friday, a little bit. But um,
sounds good.
I've got the store to. Now I will be closed on Friday because I don't have anybody to cover. So if
Mhm.
anybody is wanting anything from the bait store, you will need to pick it up Thursday before I close Thursday evening. So
Yep. And then last but not least, this weekend at Raccoon Creek Outfitters, free camping. So if anybody wants to come hang out at Raccoon Creek Outfitters with us, it's free camping, and there's live music on Saturday. They're doing a bass event. We're gonna have a little catfish event going on at the same time for kayakers, and you don't have to be in the event to come hang. So anyone who's watching this who wants to go to Raccoon Creek Outfitters this weekend, honestly, it's a party. It's a party starting Friday afternoon all the way until Sunday afternoon, and there just so happens to be fishing Saturday morning. So I'm gonna hope I make it out on the water Saturday. But yeah, bring your rain gear if you come. Everyone's invited. Dustin's a fantastic shot. Dustin's a fantastic guy. Dustin's been in the chat with us here at the last 30 minutes. So if you're not busy this weekend, you want to go hang out and just shoot the poop all weekend, come see us starting Friday afternoon, free camping all weekend. The only thing they ask is $20 for all you can eat food on Saturday. You can bring your own food and your own drinks if you want, but they are going to make like a buffet style food for Saturday. $20 all you can eat, anything you want that's there. So live music, yeah, it's going to be really fun there too. So if anybody wants to come hang out with the boys, just let me know. We'll be there. So I'll be there Friday night starting about 7, 8 o'clock.
who doesn't want to talk fishing? Seriously.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great group of dudes. It is a
Yeah.
great group of dudes there.
Awesome. All right. Well, like I was saying, I appreciate the support, Mike. I appreciate you. If
Mhm.
anybody's got anything, questions or whatever, feel free to reach out to me. If I don't
Well,
get right, I'm pretty good about getting right back to people. So,
mhm. Yep. All
um,
right. I'm out
I'll
of
be
here.
yeah.
I was out of here. We'll talk to you guys later.
See you all in the water.